Good morning, guys. So today we're going to be taking a look at my competition pistol setup. As you can see, I do have a Glock pistol on the table along with a Safariland holster. First things first, let's get this weapon and make sure it is clear. We're going to lock the slide back. We're going to look in the chamber. There is no brass or silver in the chamber, indicating no rounds. There is no magazine. We're going to go back over here, put our finger in the chamber, make sure that there's nothing in there. And then we're going to check it again. We're going to lower the slide down on an empty chamber. I'm going to point this in a safe direction. So what you will see is we'll start out with the holster. This is a Safariland duty holster. I did the wrap job myself. It was a $20 sheet of the Cadora with a 3M backer, and this is a multicam because multicam is awesome. On the back you can see I did affix a QLS clip to it, and I do have the receiver on my Blue Alpha Gear belt. Very fantastic system. I enjoy it because when I unclip it from my belt, my gun is still secured in the holster. A lot of people are asking me, why are you running Safariland only now? You used to run a T-Rex Arms Ragnarok. Well, there's actually a video about that. I got DQ'd in a match this past weekend because when I was running the gun, my Glock actually came out of the holster and landed on the ground, resulting in a DQ for that match. And I learned my lesson that a Safariland is probably the more superior holster for the kind of shooting I do in this PCSL slash two-gun competition. And the reason for that is on the back of the holster right here, you will see there is a mechanical lock that will hold the pistol in, is thumb actuated. I'll show you how that works right now. So you take the gun, you insert it in, and you will hear a lock at the very end. What that does is it secures your firearm from being able to fall out unless it is actuated by that toggle switch back there, which is a fantastic reason to have a Safariland holster. This is the only holster that I will recommend to anybody getting into the PCSL slash two-gun range of things where you're doing a lot of running with multiple guns. To each your own, but I got burned by a friction lock holster, so we're not going to be doing that anymore. We're going to learn from our lessons and move on. So that's the Safariland holster. I will set it off to the side, and then we will look at our Glock pistol. So this is just a standard Gen 4 Glock pistol. There is nothing done to it. It is a stock gun. Therefore, no fancy triggers, no fancy barrels, no fancy recoil springs or anything of that nature. I like to run it as stock as possible, but yes, add some luxuries to it as need be. You will notice I have the Talon sandpaper grips. We do a lot of shooting in Georgia, therefore our hands get very sweaty, and a 100-degree day where the humidity is high, you will love to have these sandpaper grips. They're $20. I've had this on here probably about 3 or 4 months, and probably a few thousand rounds through it. They're holding up wonderfully, and honestly, I don't see me sending my gun off to get stippled anytime in the future. I will just keep running these Talon grips. They actually do fit pretty well, as you can see. I'll zoom in for you. So as you can see, the sandpaper actually is cut to the firearm. Yeah, it's a little dirty. This thing gets used a lot, so just disregard that. But you can see there's a cutout for the mag release to slide through. The finger grooves do wrap around. That is sandpaper in between the fingernail or the grip, and it is just cut very nicely. And you can even see it's cut out for the Glock logo, and then the rotate around, and it is cut to where it lays over smoothly. Yes, this is probably not the best install job ever, but it is very functional for what it is. The $20 you have invested in those is well worth it. I would highly recommend to anybody running this for competition. The thing I wouldn't recommend this for is probably if you carrying this thing around in a duty belt for a while, it will mess up your shirt because it is sandpaper. It is pretty abrasive. The front, what you'll see here is I have a Surefire X300 Turbo. No, I did not need to splurge and get the Surefire X300 Turbo. It's just one of those things. I never had one before, so I wanted to splurge and see what it was like, and honestly, yeah, it looks cool, but functionality wise, a Streamlight TRL1 will do just the same thing and serve the same purpose. But, got to try some different things, and I've enjoyed it, but I probably wouldn't buy it again. No, I'd probably just buy a Streamlight TRL1. The what I would call the money maker on this whole system is the red dot. So as you can see, I'm running a 507 comp. It is a really large windowed red dot. The dot on the camera is not representing the dot within the screen. The dot in the screen is about a 2 MOA dot, and the camera is just blooming that out for you. So that's why it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing here. I do have some backup, metal sights. They are glow in the dark, and in the competition aspect, they're not needed. But this isn't running on a battery, and I'd rather have backup sights if my battery does go down and I don't have a replacement. This is the only gun I bring. I am very confident that it will work. So therefore, if my optic goes down, I do want to just have some iron sights to get me through the day. The last upgrade I will make that is actually functional is the Cogworks extended slide release. As you can see, what it does is it takes the slide stop or slide release from the little divot right here, and it puts it up on your slide. And what that allows you to do is get a higher purchase on the weapon and not override that slide stop or that slide release. So by getting it higher up on the slide here, I'm not accidentally stopping my slide when I have rounds in the magazine, and I'm not overriding that stop or release when my magazine's empty. So that way the gun works as it should. The last and just aesthetic thing I've done is I took fingernail polish and I just colored in the Glock logos on the side just to add some flair to it. It took about less than 5 minutes. You take fingernail polish, you rub it on there, you let it dry, and then you take some non-acetone fingernail polish remover, and you rub it on the slide, and it takes the excess off and leaves you with some pretty cool kind of engraving marks that are white. Kind of just matches everything up. So with that being said, this is all you need to go out and compete and be competitive. Now, don't get me wrong, if you go out and spend $10,000 on an Infinity or an Atlas Gunworks or something, or you buy a $3,000 Staccato, yeah, you'll probably have more luxuries in life, but this is basically the out-of-the-box Glock 17, and it serves its purposes very well. The main thing you want in PCSL or 2-gun is just a reliable gun. It doesn't matter how fast you can run it if it keeps jamming on you and you're constantly having to work on it. So guys, thank y'all for stopping by, and hopefully y'all learned something. If y'all have any questions, please leave me a comment asking so I can get that information out to you. That's what this whole channel is about, is helping others get to the point that they feel confident enough to come out to a match and join us and have some fun and join the shooting sports aspect of things. Well, y'all have a great one, and see y'all around.